All right, we're going back in time today to 2008 for the QuakeCon Grand Finals between not Rafa. I mean, he was not yet the GOAT. He signed to play competitions in 2008, but he was not yet the GOAT. So, but I mean, hey, if I'm going to say Quake, if I'm going to say Grand Finals, my brain automatically jumps to Rafa's name. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I mean, what a legend. Anyway, so we'll be watching Cypher and Zero4. Zero4 was actually Rafa's mentor, for those of you that don't know. Zero4, one of the greatest North American duelers of all time in Quake. And he's having a really good year in 2008, actually. But he is on the way out otherwise. But the timing is kind of nice because in playing against Cypher, which he is in his finals, Cypher's actually on the way up. He's the new blood. He is the new coming of Jesus. You know, he is the guy that everyone thinks is going to have the next era. And so that's how I think this is really set up, the new blood versus the veteran. An extra bit of detail here as well that's interesting is that on the map we're going to be watching, which is map 2, Vertical Vengeance, otherwise known as Tawny 4, this map was known to be Zero4's best map. And I would say, I think Zero4 perhaps was the best player of this map of all time. So Zero4 has a crazy record on this map, and it was largely put onto his ability to predict timings and decisions of other players, that he had a very, 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 very good sense as to how to predict what his opponent was going to do. So sounds like a kind of a basic thing, but he just had like a special power on this map. Anyway, let's jump into the game. I'm probably going to do a fair amount of pausing because I think one of the things I find really cool about Quake, it's like really fast, obviously, and so you can't easily get into the micro stuff, the tactical stuff, without doing some pausing. So I'll probably end up doing that. And I haven't watched the full thing here. I watched a little bit here and there just to refamiliarize myself with the opening parts of this matchup. But we're jumping straight into it, and immediately we get the mega health start for Zero4. So let's just go back 5 seconds to look at this start spawn. And again, as I said, 2 yellow armors on this map, so managing the health and armor is really, really important, and managing the damage you take, really important. Okay, so Zero4 gets the mega health start and it goes for the yellow. And what happens next is Cypher, realizing that the railgun was not taken instantly, decides to try to make a play for it. And this play works, actually. This play actually works if he doesn't miss all these rockets. So let's like look very quickly at these rockets that Cypher was shooting, because if Zero4 misses like one buckshot with the shotgun, he is kind of screwed because it doesn't do almost any damage if you miss anything. But if you hit a full shot, which Zero4 just did, it's like 110 damage. So it's actually devastating if you can connect it. And Zero4 gets like 2 solid connections, which kills Cypher. So Cypher's rockets were just not good enough in that spot, and Zero4 performed kind of nicely on the aim. So now Zero4, though, he's got the rail, and he's going to have to figure out how he can kind of capitalize on this, and he misses his shot. So that's unfortunate, because that was a sequence where he had Cypher in a spot where he could have done some serious damage, but Cypher managed to escape with almost no damage taken. So now it kind of settles into a more even territory. So now, if you're a dueler, you're thinking, what does my opponent have? What do I have? You need to understand both, because it obviously tells you a lot about what the options are, because the other player makes decisions based on that same information. So you need to do the same thing. So Zero4 is going to go into center map here, and he's going to pressure the next yellow that his opponent's taking. Cypher does a really good job of blocking it with the plasma. So this next moment is really important, because Zero4 has better positioning insofar as he's got the high ground. However, we've got this line that Cypher has to cross. Cypher has to cross this spot to get to center map, to get to the next yellow. The next yellow that's spawning is the upper yellow. That's what Zero4 is now trying to punish Cypher as he tries to go and get position on that. So Cypher's going to try and figure out a way to get across. So Zero4 is waiting, he's waiting. Cypher peeks. Now, Zero4, you can see his crosshair placement. He wasn't really quite ready for this type of peek, because what he is trying to do with the crosshair placement is he's expecting his opponent to try to jump out. But because Cypher's going to just slightly peek here and Zero4's crosshairs off, at this point, he understands, I need to get away from this angle. It's going to connect on Zero4 if he's standing anywhere around this corner, most likely. And because Zero4 is kind of off with this initial crosshair placement, he needs to kind of reset the fight straight away. And so in him doing this, Cypher realizes and shoots the rail to kind of cover himself and drops simultaneously. Now Zero4 realizes that this is what happens, and Zero4 is able to pursue. and he connects the rails. So that's really good. So that's the first like really solid connection to kind of keep that pressure on, and that's very important. So with that rocket, maybe did about 100 damage. So Cypher's getting these 25s on the mid-level, and he goes up the jump pad. Why does he do that? So here's another moment to slow things down to explain this kind of micro decision that gets made. And going back into this position allows Zero4 to check on the health. So in this center area, there is like health on this mid-level and 2 healths on the bottom level as well. So Zero4 is going and peeking and checking. He sees that Cypher's waiting for the health because he's weak. Great opportunity for a kill. Misses the rail. Okay. So does Cypher. So Zero4 goes away. Now what happens next? Cypher is looking and thinking, okay, he is retreating to the yellow because it's about to spawn. He's not going to want to take a fight when he can guarantee just re-engage after taking some armor, so he is safer. So he's going to go for the yellow. So in order to have the ability to punish him moving towards that yellow, I have to go up the jump pad to get onto the same top level just to be able to have that vision. So that's what he's going to do. But Zero4 faked it. He opened the door, he moved away from the angle, and he's faking going for the yellow to like bait Cypher to come up the jump pad, and that's exactly what happens, but Zero4 misses the shot. Now it's awkward because this is that spot. We've all been there before where it's like the plan was perfect, but then you missed the fucking shot. It's like, oh no, the easiest part of the whole thing. I make the mistake there. And now he's in a spot where he's kind of stranded because he needs to be able to escape this position. But because of the nature of the railgun, he can't just run out because Cypher is going to just hit him. So he has to try to like find a way to force Cypher to shoot and miss. And so he's going to try to like not just go for the door, but like maybe like he's doing a little pause here. He's moving across. He holds a little bit longer, and Cypher just shoots him. So he's honestly just in a very bad spot there. So despite having some good spots objectively in this game so far, Zero4 is not kind of capitalizing in the right spots. So he's kind of struggling to really push his lead as he should otherwise be able to do. And so now things reset again. Cypher keeps taking the rails, and we've got 15 seconds for the yellows. Zero4 just picked up the mega. So Zero4's actually in kind of a good spot to fight, and he got what looked like kind of a trap. I just went back 5 seconds. So Cypher jumps through the door, and there's little connection from the rocket, but very minimal damage done to Cypher with that rocket. It does drop, force Cypher to fall down to this mid-level. And so and Zero4 still has the rockets out. So Cypher has a choice. Do I go for the fight, or do I try and at this point just like make a play for the armors? He's actually in kind of an okay spot for a fight here because Zero4 has the rockets out still, and Zero4 is going to shoot a rocket, I think, here. Yeah, so when he shoots this rocket, and given how close Cypher is to the jump pad, he's going to go up the jump pad because he can get up the jump pad and either catch Zero4 on a weapon switch and then get some potential 3 damage in position, or Zero4 sticks with the rockets, which he has not been connecting with very well at all so far, and Cypher has a shotgun, which is very good close range. A lot of pressure to hit the shots. Nice kind of delay. Oh god, I gotta point this out as well. This is another Quake thing. Okay, so I'm just going to show you the way that dodging and aiming works sometimes in this game. So look at the timing here. We slowed it down, misses that shot. So his shotgun has been recovered for like a second or so. Obviously, we're slowed down here. I'm going to go back. How can I go back? Let's see. Okay. All right, probably have to make a cut there. Okay, so here we go with the shotgun. We instantly try to shoot. The gun's really recovered. Instead of, okay, look at the way the Zero4 is moving. Little jukes in different directions. And what happens is Cypher just waits. He just waits. He waits to see which direction he's committing to. Flick. He could have shot earlier, a lot earlier, but he's trying to wait and see what direction Zero4 commits to for his dodge. Because what you do in these fights is you suggest that it's like I'm like moving this way, I'm moving this way, and I'm waiting for your reload time that's in my head. And as soon as I know you're reloaded to shoot the shot, I change my direction. So that I force you to be like using that predictive aim. I'm gonna use it against you because I'm gonna give you something to predict that's fake news. And so that's kind of how it works with dodging at the high level. One of the general principles behind it. Okay, so let's continue then. Okay, what happens next? Okay, so we're on Cypher's perspective, and he obviously kills Zero4 there. He's going to go down for this railgun. And Cypher is in a spot where he's trying to run these armors, but that's a great pursuit with the rockets there from Zero4. So Zero4 actually manages with those rockets to do some really good pressure. So despite having a few moments where honestly it could easily knock anyone's confidence, he's still looking to be, taking the initiative, being assertive. And he's only got the rockets and the machine gun, but he knows the Cypher's pretty weak. And so because, again, it's hard to pick up health and armor on this map, he's able to just use the machine gun to finish off Cypher. However, this is like the problem with that is that he himself was left very low, so off the spawn, Cypher's able to kind of trade the kill. But they're 2-2, and Zero4 is able to spawn on the railgun. So he now has an advantage that he has the rail, and Cypher needs to go get it. So nice shot there because Cypher's above the rail. He wants to try to find a way to onto that item, but he can't get it, so he's just going to pursue instead. Zero4 took a gamble. I think Zero4 there, if we go back, is thinking that Cypher would go instead to the rail as opposed to the mega. That seemed like he really caught Zero4 off guard. So let's look at that again. Zero4 hits the rail. So instead of going down for the rail, Cypher's up here. This seems like a miscalculation on Zero4's part. He's obviously in a very bad fight here. You never want to emerge out this TP with someone who's in this spot with a rocket launcher. You never want that to be the case. Because look at this fight. Really well placed rockets from Cypher, and he's also able to pick up the mega health as well. So it could have been the case just that Zero4 felt like he would be able to get positioned there ahead of his opponent, or that he would be able to pick up the mega like a bit earlier. Maybe he had mistimed it slightly. It's hard to say precisely, but either way, these factors contribute to a 3-2 advantage for Cypher on the scoreboard. Misses the jump across. That's okay. Zero4 run his POV now. Okay, so you can see Zero4 is really trying to be defensive now. He's trying to play defensive. He's down a frag. He doesn't want to allow his opponent to kind of run the map against him, but he at the same time doesn't have a way to challenge without taking too much damage. So he's trying to use the close ranges of the center map, and this just backfired because he shot himself with a rocket. But that's one way you can manage being out of control, is just holding these close ranges and playing around the doors on center map. You can slow the game down a lot with that. Zero4 off the spawn, though, able to get the railgun, and is trying to put that pressure on. Really nice rocket. Cypher has 130 armor. He's going to get close. He did not have the right weapon out in time, though, and so that's causing some problems. And, oh, that's an insane flick shot from Cypher. However, he is left fairly low, as is always the dilemma on this map. How much health are you left with? And that's a very important rail that Zero4 just connected. I was going to say that would force Cypher to go for some health, but Cypher actually follows up with trying to be aggressive. Now, this is, again, playing against player expectation, right? This is the spot where if you're a commentator, you could be like, oh, you know, what he did was really stupid. But in reality, oftentimes what players are doing is risk assessment. They're going to make a play based on that would be the best play if what they think is going to happen happens, and it's a gamble. And there can be this effect of bluff, double bluff in the minds of the players and how they're reading each other, right? So it's at that point, it's very hard to determine how the risk analysis really looks. Because I've just gone back in time here. Okay, so we get the rail connected by Zero4. So Zero4 is going to get this yellow. He's going to be 91 and 50 armor. Now, instead of going for the health, which is what I think Zero4 would likely expect, given how low his opponent is and how kind of difficult, like how taking this fight is not necessarily a good fight to take, but Cypher wants to keep the pressure on, and he's definitely feeling confident. So he goes for this fight. And this is the problem, obviously, is that, you know, even if Zero4 took a rail, he would be able to kind of weather it and still pick up the yellow. He would die after the next rail, but the point is that Cypher obviously dies after one rail. So the risk here for Cypher is pretty huge, actually. And there are other reasons why this is a huge risk is because of the fact that we're 18 seconds away from both the mega and the next yellow, which means that there is nowhere that Zero4 has to be after this fight. So because of that reason, he gets to kind of go and be in bad spots to pick up armor, like in health, like on the lower parts of the map, and not really get too punished positionally because he's got loads of time to get back into position. So this fight ends up, I think, giving another opportunity here for Zero4, but we'll see how he uses it. Up the jump pad, and now it's a question of also where is my opponent? Getting the rocket launcher replenished as well. I could just hear the commentator say, I don't know why Cypher chose to attack right there. I agree. And then we go. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. Like Zero4 got just the easiest, most breezy time to pick up this yellow and then pick up this mega. And then there's nothing in that time that his opponent could actually do. So he's a 180-90. We haven't seen anyone this stacked so far in the game. We've got 10 minutes left in the game as well. Oh, big damage, actually. So Plasma Gun Trap. Again, Plasma has the highest DPS of any weapon in the game. It's just very, very hard to hit it all. And off the spawn, Cypher with the machine gun kills Zero4. Oof. Okay, let's go back into this fight. Let's see how this... Okay, so he hits the rail. Okay, so, I mean, he could just drop down for the 25s here. But he felt like he could finish off his opponent first. And you can see he goes for the 25s, but he's just like way too late. Oof, rough. It does feel like Zero4 is just like a little bit off in certain ways that Cypher is not in this game. Okay, so Cypher is the POV we're on right now, picking up the yellow. We can't see the weapons that he... Oh, we can do. So he's just got the plasma. He gets the rockets here as well. So he's starting to get some more weapons to work with. But Zero4 has the railgun, so you can see a nice little dodge there. You can see that this is a really big problem for Cypher because he can't really take any of these longer range engagements or these be open to these angles. He has to make sure that he's never visible, and he's using his projectile weapons in such a way that he denies space for Zero4. So Zero4 is denied out of the rocket launcher area, which is a problem because he doesn't have a rocket launcher just yet. It's not the biggest problem in the world, but he'll work his way around to the other side of the map in a different way. Cypher finally getting himself the railgun. So now Cypher becomes more dangerous, and Cypher's just going for it. He is just trying to be very aggressive. Nice rail from Zero4. Cypher just up the jump pad. Zero4 not able to punish it again until the rocket comes out, and that is an important punish. It seems like I'm not sure about that engagement, I think, from Cypher, but Cypher's just being super aggressive. I think, again, he just is really feeling confident in his skills at the moment. And I'm just going to make another statement about, you know, how things might be perceived by a commentator. But like, if you think about it from the perspective of the players, it becomes different. Like, if you're working from just the outcomes, you know, it can be very hard sometimes to judge things. You don't really want to do that. Again, as I always say, like, hindsight analysis is fake analysis, essentially, because real analysis works off of principles where you don't know the outcome first when it comes to this kind of a scenario. Obviously, you know, you can do analysis in such a way that you're, you know, looking at the outcome and everything. Sure, you can do that. But the problem is that you're never able to do that when you're the player in the game, because you don't know what the outcome is going to be. You can just operate off of the principles that you think are going to get you an advantage. So it's like, I feel like I'm going to be an advantage if I do this. And with players, they're going to be playing on a very high level of intuition that they may not even be able to articulate why something feels advantageous. But here, so for example, in these fights, Cypher might just think that I just feel like this is a really good fight or really good timing. And he might be wrong, and that's okay, but he is an extremely high-level player. So, you know, if he's feeling really confident about something, you know, these are the guys that break the rules. Oh, okay, that's a telefrag. So what just happened there is that they went through the teleporter at the same time, but because Zero4 was the guy that went through first, he is then standing on the teleporter exit. If someone else teleports and then spawns on top of somebody, the somebody in the equation dies instantly, which is what just happened to Zero4. So you got telefragged, is what we call that in Quake. So that's kind of a problem. So now we got Cypher going for the pressure. And Zero4 is forced away. And the damage exchange there wasn't too bad. Great rails. Cypher's taking a lot of these really nice rails. Good rockets here as well. Very good rocket damage. So although Cypher's weak, you can see Zero4 is just as weak. Zero4 going for the HP, and Cypher able to deny quite nicely. So he is really quite low, but managing to make it work so far. Just on the defense right now, just trying to hold these areas, trying to keep the pressure on, but just like walk that line of I got to get stacked up at the same time. Nice connection coming through the TP, punishing Zero4 as he is in position to take the yellow. Very exposed position. And now back onto Cypher's respective yellow armor. That's a nice rocket. Very good rockets here from Cypher in the center map. And finishing it off again with the shotgun. So really getting a beat now. 4 frags advantage for Cypher. So like in these just straight up fights, Cypher seems to be generally outperforming Zero4. in this game so far. Double rail through as well, so really starting to feel it. We haven't seen that from Cypher, from Zero4 just yet either. 0-4 is a true competitor, though. He's never really out unless he decides to tilt or something, which, you know, he knows better than to do that. He is someone that's always been very good at controlling himself and his emotions in the game. So Cypher really just, again, like just running the map here and just, you know, just able to win these fights because he's got more health and armor. And 0-4's not really able to deny him these positions. Again, as I mentioned, you know, when someone gets like into a spot like Cypher is in, there's only two ways you can deal with it. Either you get a railgun and you're able to hurt your opponent from long ranges and just do that unreturned damage and disappear. Or what you do... Oh, actually, hang on. 0-4 just managed to bring things back off the spawn, so he gets the plasma off the spawn. Oh, he's baiting Cypher to go up the TP, or the jump pad, and he just hits all the plasma. So Cypher took the bait there and gets punished. Again, maybe too confident. Might be another opportunity for 0-4 to get back in. But one of the problems he has here is a lack of weaponry. He needs the railgun pretty badly to be... Because if he had a rail there, for example, he gets 80 damage, and that's a pretty huge punish. So just, you know, stacking up here. But he also knows that the other yellow is going to his opponent. He hears it, so he knows precisely where Cypher is. He's trying to cover the possible exits. But the problem here is that he's still denied the rail. This is the opportunity to get the rail, which he'll pick up. And so we get into a situation now with 5.5 minutes left where things start to slow down. 0-4 starting to work his way back in. Great connection on the rail. He wants to follow up. And okay, so here Cypher can't really afford to, after going through that TP, there is a chance that 0-4 follows him. Even with a slight delay, Cypher is not going to have enough time to like get to like a position of cover. So he is kind of forced to hold here for a second out of the tele exit until he's able to know where 0-4 is. So obviously there 0-4 shows himself, and that gives Cypher the ability to go for the yellow. These cross-map rails have been pretty important for Cypher. Can he connect another one? And can't just yet. So good work from 0-4 to really restrict the angles that Cypher is able to work with. So Cypher is beginning to struggle. He's kind of having to skulk around the lower levels a bit more. Good connection. So finally, you know, at this point, you know, we're having these exchanges, these little exchanges, and eventually one of the players will, you know, connect the rail like that and be like, okay, it's go time. There'll be like a moment where they understand they can hit the timing to finish the kill. But until then, it's just exchanging the chip damage. So the rail is obviously a big chunk of damage. So we exchange rails, and it's going to be again Cypher to get the double, and there's the spawn on the rail side of the map. And Cypher is just outperforming 0-4 on the shots here so far, but in a little bit of trouble here, drops down. Did pick up the Mega though, so he's in decent enough shape on the health, able to pick up these 25s. 0-4 coming alive a bit as well with this rail. We need a bit more from him though. Can we connect another one? Yes, just about. Okay, so we got 6 to 12. 0-4 again, very good player on this map, so we'll see what he's able to do to bring it back, or not. So this is what we're talking about, these lower level 25 bubbles. You know, it gives your opponent so much room on the map to work with if you have to go for them. Cypher, again, so although it's kind of crazy that Cypher's going for this, what is the situation? Okay, the situation is that 0-4 doesn't have much health at all. He has not much health at all. He's finally, you know, being able to get the rail, and the rail is really what's kind of bringing him back into the game. There's a 6 frag difference and 4 minutes to find it for 0-4. That shot that 0-4 connects here, this is a hard fucking shot to hit. This first shot, let's look at it again. That's not the easiest shot in the world. He connects that one, and imagine if he doesn't connect that one, he dies. If he doesn't get that first one, he actually dies here. So it's a good read, honestly, from Cypher to go for this aggression, because the situation that 0-4's left in after his best case scenario defending this is 28 health. That's the best case. And lots of health, I think, has been taken on the map. So it's hard to get to the health. And you can see, boom, off the spawn, Cypher punishes. So he did enough with that shotgun attack to set himself up to have a big advantage here now. He picks up the yellow, he gets the railgun off the spawn, he has all the weapons except the plasma, and now he has that long-range dominance again, which he uses to connect that rail, and that's going to negate the yellow pickup and a bit extra. And now Zero4's in a weird spot because Mega's coming up in 50 seconds, so maybe not thinking about that, but he does have to try to get himself a rail. So he's going to get onto the rail, but he doesn't have much health and armor. If he gets hit by a rail himself, he's in trouble, but in connecting one onto Cypher, now Cypher's in trouble, and there's an insane return from Cypher. Okay, really like showing why he is ahead right now. That's kind of insane. The rail has really been saving Cypher. Nice pixel shot from Zero4, and we actually get Zero4 doing basically the same thing to Cypher. Really nicely done. Oh, it's looking gorgeous here. Zero4 didn't even take too much damage there, as Cypher was airborne. So good stuff on the comeback. Not deterred by Cypher's excellent railing, and we are 5 frags behind here. So very doable in 3 minutes, especially with the spawns on this map. We haven't seen too much spawn fragging here, but you can really spawn frag a lot. And Zero4 picks up the Mega as well. 200, 100. Okay, he's set up. He is so set up for a comeback. We'll see if he is able to do it. First rocket connecting decently. Nice fade away rail as well. So really doing a fantastic job sweeping up the rail. So there's no rail for Cypher. Cypher gets caught in the open again. Unreturned damage from the rail. You can't do anything against a rail there if you don't have one yourself. Another great rocket. Zero4 starting to really warm up here. Nice rocket connected. 3 frags the difference with 2 minutes. So, oh, what another nice shot. Okay, this guy is feeling it. Oh, okay. All right, dude. This is awesome. Okay, nice railing from Zero4. 2 frags behind, 2 minutes to go. He's really doing a great job in speeding things up here. But needs to hold on to the good work that he's been doing. Nice rail. He feels like he's everywhere right now. What an impressive presence he is on the map at the moment. So Cypher has been just taking so much damage here. Finally, it feels like Zero4 is letting up a little bit with connecting some of these rails. Imagine if he connected that one. And now Cypher's finally in a position to maybe do something. 70 armor. High ground position. What else does he have to work with? Okay, Zero4 is slightly less on the armor front. Nice shot, though, from Zero4 again. That's a very important rail because obviously Cypher had a bit of an advantage, and now they're going to be somewhat even after this yellow pickup and that connection of that rocket. So we get the 25s collected by Cypher. Mega's coming next. Cypher has to set up for this, so he's going to be on the high ground. Zero4 is going to know that he's there first. How does Zero4 manage this Mega? This could be the game. This Mega fight here is going to be perhaps the game deciding situation, and Cypher's not actually going to go for it. And that's actually kind of smart because he is just not going to take an engagement. Zero4 can have this. Zero4 is going to have a tax of closing the distance of health and armor. We talked about this. He's going to leave the yellow up because he knows that he has to get this kill. It's unable to find any damage that he needs, and this is all the tax. This is the tax I'm talking about. The closing the distance tax. It is very painful. Is he able to find the finish? Just barely in time. 10 seconds left, and he's not in a great position to get any spawn frags. So he's going to need something extra here to find this kill. Where is Cypher? Cypher is just playing. Oh my god, he's actually connected that. Oh my god, that's so close. That's so close. Oh my god, that's so close. So I hope you like this. Let me know if you want more content like this. Let me know what worked for you, what didn't work for you in terms of the commentary, because there's lots of ways we could go for this. Obviously I could just do like play-by-play, or I could, what's up, Ashley? Or I could do more like just go way more analytical, slow more things down, and all sorts of stuff. So let me know, and I appreciate all of you watching, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Cheers.